Hi, my name's Jonathan. I'm the, I guess, everyman here at the Streets Network. Basically the main programmer and support and owner of the Streets Network. We're a small private company that started up around 2000. Back then, Google hadn't reached the full domination of the information marketplace, and we were basically a group of local directories for the cities around Australia. I personally have been here in Perth for about 25 years now. I was born in California, Silicon Valley. I grew up with computers, met an Aussie girl and chased her to the other side of the planet, sold the Camaro, grabbed my guitar and hopped on a plane. But back in around 96, I first got online, and my programming Silicon Valley roots came out, and started programming and building web pages. And from there started helping businesses get web pages. And once I started helping businesses get web pages, and this is before Google even existed, they were saying, well, now that I've got a web page, how can people find me on the internet? And back then we had search engines like Alta Vista and Excite and a few other ones, and Yahoo, of course, which was more of a directory than a search engine. And we started helping people get exposure on there. So this was the first SEO, or search engine optimization, that was going on. And around 98, 99, as I had more and more business customers, Google came out, and they're like, well, how can I be found on Google for people searching locally? And we started doing SEO for that, and Google started helping, and then clients started going to us, well, Yellow Pages is now doing their directory and they want $5,000 a year. And I was like, no, we can do better. I just thought about it for a while and decided, hey, we had a different idea for what the Streets Network actually was back in the day. This is before Google Maps and everything. We had an idea of having these maps that would have little pins that showed people's businesses, and when you hovered over them, it would, you could click and go to their website and that sort of thing. So that's why it was called the Streets Network. There was a local WA company called Aussie Homes that had worked with some developers, and that built this really cool Java app that had maps and showed where homes were for sale, and we were looking at adapting that to the Streets Network. That never eventuated, simply because the cost to get the map data was astronomically high back then. So to have map data, it costs a lot to have. Of course, we all know eventually Google started doing that. It was an idea back then, but Google took it to market, and when they started doing their Google Local. Well, we had these directories called Streets of Perth, Streets of Brisbane, and whatnot. And people in Sydney were like, when are you opening up here? So we started doing that. And the Streets Network did really well for a long time. And that was mainly because Google was sending us the traffic for, Painters Perth and things like that. Well, when Google launched their Google Local, I would say around 2010. We started in 99, and around 2010, Google wanted the local marketplace. So what they did was they literally phased out and kicked out all of us independent local business directories and local business communities, because they wanted all of it, and with their Google Maps and their Google Local and Google Business. So they effectively took over the marketplace and marginalized everyone else. And then of course social media came around, and the vision for the Streets Network was really an alternative place for businesses to connect with each other, and for consumers to find local businesses, for the businesses, so they didn't have to pay $5,000 a year, or have to spend all this money just to be found online. And we wanted to make it a fair place. And once we realized the power of Google, when they basically killed off the version 1 of the Streets Network after 6 years of doing really well and helping thousands and thousands of businesses prosper and do really well, they pulled the rug out, so to speak. And they had that power. They've got that power to do that to any business they want. And if you're not on page 1 or page 2, you're out of business unless you pay them hundreds of thousands of dollars to be on page 1. So these global search engines have a pay-to-win type situation. The businesses that are on the first page and whatnot are usually the most expensive. Same as it was in Yellow Pages. Our first reason for building the Streets Network was, in the old paper versions, whoever had the most money got the biggest ads and got seen first. And it is an auction system. Same as Google's AdWords. It's an auction system to whoever has the most money wins. And I don't think that's what the internet was made for. It was there to help everyone and give everyone a fair go and to be connected. So a few years ago, I got back to work. I mean, we wound up the company. I'm the only one left in it. This is my second job. Cyan Web Solutions, just for disclosure, is a web development company that I still work in. It's pretty much myself and a couple of offsiders, and contractors that I work with, helping businesses. But again, the big monster in the industry now, of course, is Google and global search, and they effectively control the information flow to consumers that choose to use them. Now, everyone goes, yeah, Google, what's the alternative? What's the alternative? I go, well, I've got this thing called the Streets Network, and it's really about, and the meaning of the Streets Network has changed from this early map idea to, when people want change, what do? They march on the streets. They go to the streets. They take it to the streets, and that was kind of, and I think there's a bad 80s song about that as well. But the Streets Network is more local people choosing something else. Choosing to get together somewhere else that's more fair and isn't draining the business economy. I mean, big global search is taking out nearly 500. It's actually in Australia over $500 million. Out of the Australian small and medium business economy is just being sucked right out, and the figures probably double that. In real world figures, not just Google, but the amount of money people spend on SEO companies and all this extra stuff that's created around search engines, So about $1 billion a year is being wasted, and a lot of it's going over to these, overseas companies, overseas SEO, India especially. They do a lot of telemarketing. They claim to be Australian businesses, but the money is just going overseas. Not to say that working with overseas people is bad or anything. I mean, we've got some great programmers that we've made contact with over the years that we work with, and they happen to live overseas. It's not they're not a core part of what we do, but it's always the better of your network of professionals. It's a good thing, and that's part of what the Streets Network is about. So I reimagined what the Streets was, took into account the new social media way of doing things, and said, look, you've got Facebook and Twitter, and you have your LinkedIn as well for your business network, and sort of what the new Streets is all of those things in one. So you have the ability to do a lot of things, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch and listen to me about this. I mean, I've been doing this business since 1999. I've had a lot of time to work and think on it. Again, the goal of the Streets Network is to connect people and give businesses an alternative, consumers an alternative way to connect with their online economy. Having a large global corporation control your online economy and who can see what and where the money goes, and then demanding money in order to be found, almost. They don't really demand it, but it's, those with the most money wins. Everyone else, starts up a small business, can't be found, they go out of business because a lot of consumers are using the online. So it got me thinking that as business people, we're also consumers. We also choose where we search and where we look for other local businesses. And this is something that I'm hoping, with me doing this video, people can understand what I'm trying to do here, and why being a member is good. Because once you're a member, you are part of a community. You're part of people saying, look, let's support local business, or let's connect in a different way. We don't have to use Google. We don't have to use other global searches. The best global search that I've found, which is fair, and they don't track you and they're not monitoring you, and is DuckDuckGo, which we use as our global search engine on the Streets Network. But first of all, okay, the introductions aside and all of that, I do tend to ramble on. Again, like I said, I've got a lot of time thinking about this business and building this business. It's a small business. I mean, just like 99% of our members, it's a small business. And we need to support each other, and we need to know there is an alternative. And again, this is the Streets Network is always in development. And there's a lot of things I want to add and do, but without businesses buying, membership, or not memberships. Membership's always free, but to put their businesses in the directory and in the search, I ask only a small amount of money, and that actually is what funds the development and the new features. I don't want to say what's coming up because I've got a lot of things going on and planned that none of the big guys have, no one else is doing. Back in the day when I first started it, we were the first ones to put video links on our directory listings, and within a month, the other guys, Yellow Pages and City Search, had video links. And then we realized back in 2000, no one was uploading videos, and it was something that no one was using, so we took it off. And then a few months later, they took it off because, it's not ready. But now it is. The internet is now exactly ready for the vision, the original vision that my partner back then, Tracy, and I had for what the Streets Network is and could be. And so it's an exciting time. But with the global search engines and brands dominating the market, I don't have millions of dollars to spend on advertising. It's just pretty much a word of mouth, or people find us through search and whatnot. But our members are members that understand what we're trying to do here, and our motto is: before you global search the Streets Network, or head to the streets before you go global. So this is about local streets, local small business, mainly finding the businesses you're not going to find on a Google search or other searches, and giving people more than one way to find a business. So that said, let's just go into what is the Streets Network in terms of starting at the homepage. Well, from the early days when search wasn't the biggest thing, it was all done via links. So, and people liked our homepage because they're like, okay, well, I've got all my news, the basic news links, and your classifieds and all this, simple stuff that's commonly used on a homepage, better than your MSN homepage or just your blank Google search homepage. We do want to make this more customizable, like you'll be able to add your own news sites and whatever you want. But again, that's a lot of time and programming, and I have to work at another job or my other job so development time for this is limited. The more support we get, the more time I'll have to work on this and add new cool stuff. But okay, so we have this local homepage, and it's a general homepage. But once you're a member, and I'll log in as my other business CyanWeb account. It actually changes, because when you sign up, you actually say what state you're in. So this is kind of neat, is that it's now the WA homepage. So we got WA news and more localized information here. WA Football League, sporting, again, time is everything. We want to be able to put more time, but right now we only have a local homepage for WA. I promise the other ones will eventually come up, so you'll have a more localized homepage. And the idea is that eventually you can put what you want there. What you want for your local news and your local sports and your local entertainment. You can put your favorite team there, so it's up there. It's quite complex and it takes time to program it. And again, I'm only one person here, but I've built all of this using my 20 some odd years of programming experience to build, and using some existing technologies and third-party software to cobble together what we have now. And again, it's very functional. It works really well. So you have this home page, and again, it's mainly this is mainly looking for business and things like that. But you have your everyday stuff. Eventually, we're going to have more in-depth. We used to have what are called guides. Again, they were a place where you'd go into, let's say, entertainment. Instead of just these few links here, and whatnot, it would open up into more links, and like entertainment would be TV, movies, celebrity, whatever you want. Eventually it was going to be more organized. So it was a different way of taking your bookmarks around with you, and that sort of thing. So straight to it, you're probably watching this because you're a business owner, and they're like, well, I see other businesses on here. Here's one way that we try to get people to. The internet's not just about searching; it's become just about search. But to me, being one of the early people on the internet back in '96, it was about discovering stuff, finding links, and going, okay, what else is out there, and spend time just kind of browsing around the internet. Now it's very in-your-face, pushed content, search, mass media and everything. But we wanted to keep a little bit of that discovery aspect in there as well. So we have Discover New Business. You can take a look. And I've found new businesses on here that I didn't know about, like, well, I'm not in Victoria, but Freedom Photography. Okay, so yeah, it's a WA company. That's kind of neat. So let's say you're looking. I'm going to go back to the home page to show you. And that's just a way to discover new businesses. But generally, and again, the way to discover, again, you have the business directory. Now we've got 1,000, categories here. And what we're going to do is we're actually in the process of reducing the amount of categories. We know we don't need this many, and we just need to find what's popular we're going to keep, and eventually move out the stuff that people aren't using, like pleating specialists. I don't think people are really looking for that. If a pleating company came to me and said, I'm a pleating specialist and I'd like to be in a category, I'd recreate the category. So again, if you don't find a category that you need, you can always contact us and suggest one, or there's an option when you sign up. Now we'll get into the sign up soon, but let's go again into search. Let's type in web design, okay? And I'm not putting in Perth or anything like that. I'm just going to start with just web design to show you some of the features that make us different. First of all, I've done web design, and it's sorted by keyword relevancy. Okay, and that's sort of like how Google works. It's not perfect. We are working on the search. It's very complicated, but you have that. But what the others, you can say, okay, well, from here I can narrow it down to just show me the ones in WA. So now I've got just the WA businesses. Now you can go with the top one, or you can sort it. You can actually go, well, I'm going to go through alphabetically, so I can take a look at each one. I can know if I come back and put alphabetical, I can take a look. Now, let's say, well, it's not perfect. Again, we've got action sheds. They're obviously not web design, but the keyword design is in there. So in this case, where I'm looking for web design, I go down and I can actually see these other ones, and I see, look, there's a category called web design, which is clickable, which again, you don't get this on the global search, you don't get this on most other search results. So I'm going, okay, well, I'm looking for web designers. I'm going to click that. And that's actually showing me the category of web design. And from there, again, I can go back in and click WA. And we want to improve that to a little bit to stay in it. So that now we have just the WA web designers listed in alphabetical order. We can do it reverse. We can go by the most viewed, by the least viewed. This is something that we thought about earlier. We're like, okay, well, let's give, you can go by least viewed in order to say the new guys, the newest members are always going to be, the least viewed. But that's up to you. So we're giving the consumer options and yourself as a way to different ways of finding people. But let's say, okay, so that's one way of finding businesses. Another thing from these search results, and this is something that I haven't seen other people do, and believe me, they probably will once they catch on to what I'm doing, and this is the way the industry works. We've been around for a long time. A lot of people know about, know about what we're doing. And you'll see a lot of people spin off as well. But what we're doing here is saying, okay, let's say you're looking for something more local. So if we do go web design, and you can put in your postcode, so I'm just doing Morley 6062. It'll find, like Morley and Bayswater, these are local suburbs to me. And of course there's mine there. But what's kind of neat as well is you can actually then, and most people don't know it's clickable yet, but part of why I'm doing this video is that you can actually click Morley, and it's going to erase the category, but it's just going to give you businesses in Morley. So these are all the businesses in Morley, WA that have signed up and listed. So you can, again, it's about discovery. Discover what's in your local area, and it's really easy to discover local businesses. Okay, so let's say, okay, yeah, there's a Taekwondo guy in my area. Okay, I'm going to check it out, and this is again, this is another difference. This is sort of the social media or social, whatever you want, Web 2.0, whatever you want to call it. I'm not into buzzwords and frames, but this is a good example of what makes the streets different. Is first of all, I can favorite this business. Now that I've got an account, it's a free account, I can favorite this and go, yep, I'm going to add him to my favorites list, and now it's added to my list. I've got in my network my favorite businesses. These are all the ones that I've favorited. Businesses I've favorited and said, yeah, I want to come back and take a look at these guys later, or at least I know they're there, and there's a reason why I favorited them. Eventually, this is going to have its own little search. Like, you'll be able to search your own favorites, which is, again, I've let a cat out of the bag there, but eventually, believe me, you'll see other people doing it. It's really cool feature that other people aren't doing. I'm just going to go back. And so that's one thing you can do. You can favorite businesses that you discover, and this is what's neat, is you can discover stuff. You're not just searching, you're discovering and favoriting business. And now, as a member, I can actually follow them. Now, this is sort of like your Facebook follow. I can now follow this member. So once I start following them, when they post stuff, I'll see it in my activity, okay? Because I'm following them. Anything that they post, like on Facebook, will show up in my activity. Now, I haven't gotten to the activity stream yet, but we'll get there. Another cool thing about the streets is we let you put in all your social media links, all the main ones. We'll probably add a few more as well. Like this, you can go. You don't have to go to their website or anything. You can go to their website from the web link, which is here, which so you can take a look at their website and whatnot. Of course, we do have the basic business details there. We don't do email, and the contact here, we've taken off the email contact. Just too many hackers and spammers at this point, and we don't have the time to constantly combat them. So we're telling people, go to their website to contact them and whatnot. But there is a Google map, and you can actually see the member who posted this. Now, when you're actually following someone, now this is again something that I need to work on. But when you're following, you're actually following the member. So if the member has 3 businesses, you're actually going to get all the posts from that member. It's something. It has to do with the software how we built it. As one person, it's not perfect, but we're working on it. But again, so you have a standard business listing. You go straight to their their Instagram, Google Plus page. So you can do a lot of things with just their listing, which is kind of neat. Of course, we have reviews. This is something that we're debating. We debated, and some people said, look, it'd be good to have reviews because that sort of thing. But if it becomes problematic, and we hear a lot from businesses, there's we had this client, they were trying to get something for nothing, and they got angry with us because we wouldn't give them a free this, or we asked to have to pay for that extra time. And some clients are difficult. We all know in business, some people are just difficult. And then they go out on the internet and post all these bad reviews everywhere and attack the business. And it happens more often than you believe, is that a dissatisfied customer is dissatisfied for a non-legitimate reason and then goes around posting stuff. And as a business, you can respond to them, but you have no recourse to get it removed, especially in Google. And so we're going to see how this reviews actually works and pans out with abusers. And people, of course, writing fake reviews, we don't tolerate that. We will do everything to manage these. But again, if businesses don't support us with a simple paid service, there's less time to devote to this. We'll get to the listing and the payments later, but showing the other cool stuff that we do. So we got this, and then we also have network activity. Now this member joined a year and 9 months ago. They haven't actually posted any activity or anything. They can. But again, we're not at the level where people, we're not Facebook, we're not, but we are literally an alternative for business Facebook. And we're an alternative for consumers to come and become members and follow and keep their, what I like to say, keep their commercial or, business-based or commercial media separate from their social media. When I'm on my Facebook page, I'm there to be social with my family and friends and find stuff and do stuff there. I don't necessarily want businesses. It's not for business. It's not for me to follow businesses and find out stuff about businesses. That's me personally. I don't like it when businesses inject stuff into my Facebook. While Facebook is big and great and it's really good for business, I'm saying this is just an idea that businesses can post stuff and consumers can come here and know that what they're getting here is the latest specials, the latest news and whatnot. So for an example of that, I'll actually go to my business and show you what I've used it for. And again, I don't keep it completely up to date all the time, just like Facebook pages and whatnot. But I've got down here. So when I finish a website, I can post it here and say, this project is now online. I can post activity and whatnot. I can't do it directly from my page, but when I go into my activity, this is where I can post what's new and what's happening. I'll just say 12 months hosting with any domain name registration. And we'll go November 2017 only. Just mention the Streets Network. Smiley face. I don't know. And I can post it to anyone. I can post it to people following me. I can show it only to people that are logged in. And I can show it to my connections. Now, connections are the next level. That's when you're following a business or you're connecting with a business. It's a little bit different. I won't get into that here. It's not fully developed yet. But you can actually communicate with other members through mentions, just like on Twitter and hashtagging. It's a little bit different, but we have all that. I won't go into much detail there. I will this video is getting long enough as it is, but I'll just post this update. Okay, so anyone who's following me will get that post, but also it's public. So on the home page, of course, what's new. I've just posted something and it's on the home page. And that's for everyone to see. We don't like people abusing that feature, so we do try to keep a rein in on it so people aren't spamming. And if you spam stuff and promoting stuff blatantly all over the activity feeds, you will get banned. It's just don't abuse the system. And it's there really to announce special offers, to discuss stuff. I mean, you can even ask questions and maybe if you're in we did have a feature of groups and stuff, but again, too many spammers, we've left that off for now. Okay, so let's get into, we have these other things like my connections, of course. These are people that have connected with me, friends. These are other members. Okay, they're not necessarily businesses, they're members as well. So like Facebook, you have a member account, which is a person, and then you have business listings. So once you're a member, and let's say you have a business, you can add your business. As a member, you can have multiple businesses as well. Now, this is the current add and connect your business, which I will be adding this video here because people sort of want to know more about it. Now, the free for 6 months is something that we're taking off. It's just too much time. Everybody just wants things for free. And we go, okay, well, it's free. And then nobody pays, and all this hard work and time. And I have to review every listing. And we're talking at least 10 minutes per submission. So for every 6 frees, it takes an hour of my life. And it's just not, I can't compete with the free Google, free everything else. But we're doing something for businesses that's different, and it means something different. And our members that do join, should know that we want to be an alternative to that. I'm not trying to be the biggest company in the world. I'm not trying to make millions of dollars. I mean, seriously, I have another job, but the goal here is I'd love to make this my full-time job. I would love to help people and work on it. And up to a certain point, there's only so much that I need to make a year before, maybe I can make it free. I don't need $1 million a year. I'm not one of these type of people that my goal is money and all this stuff. Life's much more important than that, and a lot bigger than that. And what I feel I'm here to do with this is to provide something that actually is there to help people and help people succeed and help people help each other and connect differently and help each other online. So as a business member, use us and support other business members, and you've then created a community, an alternative way that's not directed by a global corporation saying whoever has the most money, we're going to show them to you, and that the first page is all big corporations, second page is whoever, and that it's sort of this, system that personally it's good for finding a recipe or researching a product, but when it comes to just finding a local business, we shouldn't be using it. We really shouldn't, because you're just sucking it's making businesses have to pay too much money, and we're talking literally tens of thousands of jobs and money are being sucked out by this one company who actually aren't doing anything really to help businesses, with an alternative way. I mean, if they made it completely free, and let's say they made a business directory like this. Now, Google are working on it. They're working on their business directory, but they're not promoting it because it makes them no money. And if they did what I'm doing, they would lose their $5 billion a year. Because if they said, okay, well, it was a lifetime listing for this much, or free, they would lose all of it because everyone would know about it and use just their business search. They don't have a business search. It's mixed in with their regular search. And what we've done is we've separated the two. I can't say they would lose their but most of their money comes from the paid advertising on from businesses. So this is just a simple alternative thing that we're building. So when you add your business, and yes, I do know that it does say 6 months free on this demo, but this part of the reason I'm making this video is because I have to remove that. I cannot spend hours and hours and hours of my life, making sure that we've got good members in there. And part of this small fee, it's tiny. Really, it's nothing, but it covers my time to review and support your listing over the lifetime of your business. Now, when a member, writes me for help or asks me a question, I have to answer, and that's time. And while most businesses don't really contact, sometimes they want to update their details, or they've forgotten, how to do it, or they need help updating it. That's what I'm here for. That's what this small fee does, is it helps pay for my support. And of course, the hosting and programming and, upkeep. And it's quite a bit. It costs a bit to host something that gets big, and we've got quite a bit of traffic, as you can see, just by looking on the side here. I mean, people are getting views, search engines are crawling the website. There is money that I'm spending on keeping this online. We have a member counter, and that sort of thing. So, but to add your business is fairly straightforward. You select your category. I know I want to work on a better way of finding a category. I'd like a search system here. We did have one that worked for a bit, but after some software updates, again. So you can find it here. I mean, the best way to find it is actually to try to, just do a search. Let's say, again, I'm just going to do web design. And again, okay, I need to find the category I'm in. And here we go, web design. That's the category, okay? This here is the category. So when I go into the add business side of it, again, I can then go straight down to W because I know it's a category called web design. And, oops, not washing machine and dryers, but WED. Again, we want to cut down the number of categories, but for now, this is the best we can do for now. So once you've selected your category, you submit your listing. Put in, and we do ask for an ABN because this is an Australian directory, and as an Australian business, you should have an Australian ABN if you're trading. If you don't have an Australian ABN and you're trading, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to have a business number if you're trading in Australia, and that's just sort of something that we have as a lookup. If someone makes a complaint or whatnot, we can look up to see if they're a legitimate business. And you put in your basic details. We don't force you to put your street address. It's a good idea just to put the street name at least as a minimum, so the Google Maps work. But otherwise, the suburb will find you on Google Maps. Put in your details. Put in the description. Here's where you can put in all your links, and you can edit all of this later. With a membership, you get unlimited updates, and you can add your images, and these. Your logo and everything like that. The first image becomes like your logo. I probably need to explain that a little bit better. I'm working on it. It's the amount of time I have. But yes, you add your image, to images here, and the first one becomes sort of like your logo image. And they should be square. At the moment, everything's squared off, so crop your image, prepare it, that sort of thing. Or again, we can help if needed. But again, we're giving the options here: 2 years for $10 or lifetime for $20. And we promise to review it within 24 hours. And the medium priority is, we'll get to it ASAP, and that's usually within a couple of working days. The 24-month listing for $10 is really there because, and this is just from experience, is the average new small business only lasts 2 years. And that's unfortunate because the marketing, the way the new internet work, the way the search engines work, is not geared to helping small business get that. They can't afford the $1,000 a month to get onto page 1 of Google. So that's just an option, a 24-month listing. It's a minimum investment. It's again, it's such a minimal cost. I can't do free because I can't pay for anything with free. But as part of this network, you've joined, and your business is now in part of a community that, with you being in the business directory, you've supported us. We can keep going. We'll be able to keep going without that. Again, I've been running this for since 2000, pretty much out of my own pocket. There was a time when it was doing really well and we were making good money, and but Google pulled the rug out from under us when they decided that they didn't want directories like mine in their network or in their search results. So while some pages are still in there, it's not like they decided to get rid of them, but they changed their search algorithm to lessen the importance of what we were doing, and took over that. So because we were providing a search service and an information service, they are a search service and an information service. So therefore, we're actually competing. You'll notice though, Yellow Pages and some of the other really big ones are in there. Big business, stick with big business, and whoever has the most money wins. This is not what we're about. We're about connecting people, and as you can see here, where everyone gets a fair go online. I'm from Silicon Valley. I met an Aussie girl. I believe in the motto, and it's always stuck with me. Everyone should get a fair go. And it's not a fair go when you are small business and you're struggling to get exposure, feeling that your only option is Google or Facebook. These are global corporations, that are designed to control the information flow. We're just sort of an alternative, and we want to work on this and develop it, but we'll see how it goes. And it's only with business support, and support our business members. Use, if you're looking for a painter and you want to look for them in Perth, or in Perth, or let's say Morley, within 5Ks. There's none in there, so I can go within 50Ks. And I'm finding some. So we do have members and we do have listings, and support us and support our members, because if I typed in exactly the same thing into Google, let's say painters Morley, you have all these paid ones. These are whoever has the money, and they're gonna, they're the money people. Then you have the Google local maps, which is sort of like our original idea for streets. We had this idea before Google even existed, which is kind of neat, but they're doing it because it's a good, and they've got the money to pay for it. So then you have yellow pages. Great. Ooh, who's in bed together? Sorry, yellow pages. Again, the big guys. And then here's One Flare, another big internet company who knows who owns them or whatnot. You'll have True Local, which is another big giant corporation. Home Improvement, another big .com. So where are the little guys? Where are the local little guys? This is all Lux Painting, Painters Morley. Okay, so which is and again, more paid. So this is everyone that's got money is here. Then you can go to page 2 and you'll get more money. Again, the same guys throwing themselves at you. And the Where Is, okay, that's another big company. First Best Painter, some guy's got this really thing. So you're not really, I don't know, this is my problem with global search. But again, you go back here, Painter near Morley, Majestic Gayer, Sage Sun, Insultech, Painting Solutions, Feel Safe, well, this is security, but it's not the best system, but it works. Again, but you can then go and straight in Painters and Painting Services. Click the category. Now you're in the category. You didn't have to look for it in the business directory here. This is more for discovering businesses, checking out who's in there doing what. But the search, there's other ways to find what you're looking for, and this is what we're putting forward. Better ways of finding. So I'm in Painters and Painting Services now, because here's the category, and I'm going WA. Okay, Burswood Pro. So here's the painters, and Sultan's Painting and Decorating. Now, even with my search and where is Sultan's? I mean, this business, Gumtree is up there before this local business, and Gumtree is owned by eBay. That's not an Australian company. It's owned by eBay, who are the major investors in eBay. Well, you can look that up. But eBay is eBay. It's American company sucking money out of Australia. And believe me, I'm not a nationalist. I'm not, American, go USA and all that stuff. I am for go local business. Go us. That's it. That's what it's about. It'd be great to see the streets take off and people get behind it more and grow again like we used to, because with that we can actually help more people. We can then buy maybe these top ads, or maybe help our members more or whatever. Money's not the issue for me, but I guess it's for lack of a better, the establishment is, these global corporations are controlling the internet now. They control the information flow, and I'm going to be here as long as I can to fight that and provide an alternative. So, yeah, there's, as for business, it would be great, we're just asking a small amount of money to support it. We've been here for a long time. We plan on being here for a long time after that. And again, we want to be a more transparent organization, so we want to keep people informed as to what's happening, with the business, because again, this is for our members, and not only just the free members, which you have the favoriting businesses, and there's a lot of useful stuff here. You do have the communication ability. You can get followers. You can follow businesses and connect with them. And there's a lot more things I have planned, but hopefully what we're about now, and and this is all just sort of improv, talking about it and what we're doing. But again, we'd really like to see you join up and support your local businesses. Find cool local businesses, because if you're looking for t-shirt, like cool t-shirts, I'm not sure if I have any yet, so this is sort of, cool t-shirts. Nothing yet. Let's just go cool shirts. Okay, cool shirts. We've got in Osmond Park in WA, we've got the fabric printer, and in Hobart, we've got Arctic Tees. Now, because the internet is global, I can order stuff. These guys are global businesses, but are they going to be found in Google for cool shirts? Let's see who comes up for cool shirts. Paid stuff. Yeah, you get a lot of stuff here, but I'm looking to find Spreadshirt. These are all big stuff. Okay, Spreadshirt. These are big. You're not gonna with us. Cool shirts. Local businesses. Fabric printer. I can see a little bit before I actually go in. These guys do custom printing, obviously. And I can take a look at their website, and I know they're a local business. But you're not going to find these guys, on a quick search. And I didn't even have to go local. I just went cool shirts, and then I can, if I want to, drill down to WA and go more local and whatnot. But again, it just depends on what I'm looking for, and it's a totally different way. This is commercial. This is for business and for the consumer to find cool new businesses and connect. And let's say I go, okay, well, yeah, I may need t-shirts printed. I got this idea for this cool t-shirt, whatever, or I need it for my sports team or whatnot. I'm going to favorite. So I know he's there. And it's not like when you go to Google, you can do Google Plus and all that or whatnot, or you go to Yahoo and you can't bookmark them. You're going to go back and do another search for what was the name of that business? I don't know. I forgot. I'm going to type in cool shirts again, and the search results are going to be totally different. They change their stuff around. At least here I found it, I've bookmarked it, it's in I'm going to be able to come back and go, hey, there they are, down the bottom. I want to be able to sort this. Eventually, again, I'll be able to fix it. But thanks again for listening to me ramble on. I hope you get an idea about the Streets Network and a bit about where we're from, what we're trying to do, and hopefully you get behind us and add your business, or tell your friends that are in business that, hey, come to us and make us your homepage. Bookmark us, create, make us your homepage and start with us. Start your day with us. Why not? Do you want to start your day searching for stuff, or have the local news there, and your weather right there, your WA weather's right there. I mean, you can do all this stuff on your phone, I know, but this is just a different way. I mean, it is mobile friendly, so it does work on mobile. We're working on it a bit more, but again, it's pretty much me, Jonathan, the everyman here at the Streets Network. Look forward to connecting with you online on the streets. Thanks again for listening.